Hey, what's going on, guys? Coach Seth here, Superior Athletes, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I wanted to talk about basically just how to structure your week in order to increase your athleticism. There is actually a lot of different ways to do this, so don't think that this way is the only way. But we're going to go over that in pretty good detail today. I'm going to give you a couple different scenarios, a couple different examples. But before we dive into it, if you're new here, my name is Seth Thomas. I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and I help you guys become stronger, more athletic, and more agile. So if you're interested in any one of those components, make sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any of my latest content. And as always, for all my links and notes, make sure to check the description box below. And also, if you wanted to support the channel on a level, make sure to check out my Teespring store because that is also linked up in the description. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this. And I'm gonna start off by just kind of giving you a scenario because this is all going to depend on where you're at in your training. This is going to depend on your goals. It's going to depend on if you're in the off season or in season, and it's going to depend on what you need to work on the most. So there's a lot of different factors that play into something like this, but I'm going to give you a couple scenarios of what I think you need to do. So first and foremost, I believe that you need to structure your workouts and structure your days around your gameplay and around your skills training. So if you are in season and you have games, you got to plan around them. So don't go, oh, I need to work out this day, this day, this day. And it doesn't matter if it's on a game day or not, because that's when I need to do this. No, you need to structure this around your game days, because that's what it's all about, right? We know that. We know that it's all about your performance in your games. So gameplay in your in games is going to be the highest priority. I know most of us are probably approaching in season, but let's just say we don't have games throughout the week. I would split it up to upper and lower body. I think I used to tell people to do a push-pull leg day. To me, that's just too much. That's too complicated. So, and I've also recently read some recent research on your body's adaptation to more often a week. So instead of annihilating your muscle groups for doing 10 exercises per muscle group and then not being able to walk the next day or be able to move that muscle group and taking 4 days to recover, it's much better to lower that volume in those workouts and get them more often through the week. So 2 to 3 times a week is what I recommend for strength training mainly, and we'll go over a little bit more about plyometric training, agility training, and also conditioning training. The way I like to have it set up, especially let's just say strength first, we're going to do 3 days a week of strength. So let's just say Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is going to be lower body, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday is going to be upper body, and Sunday is a quality rest day. So if we're just talking about strength, that's going to be the most ideal, I would say. And what I like to do with the lower body is actually combine agility and plyos. And research has actually shown that doing the higher velocity training first is going to be the most effective. Like the super fast movements is going to be first, and let that lead into the slower movements. So that just means we'll start with agility and then let agility kind of flow into the plyos, and then let the plyos kind of go into the strength, where the heavier stuff and the lower velocity movements, just to kind of get that hypertrophy going and that durability, basically. So the heavyweight training is not necessarily training things like your vertical and your agility and stuff like that, but it the way I see it is it kind of just like sets the bar for your vertical and your agility and stuff like that, and your speed. But it also is really good for injury risk and durability and stuff like that. So we absolutely need our strength training. So it's really just about managing your dosing of your workouts and your exercise. So that means if we're doing agility 3 times a week, combined with plyos, combined with strength all in the same day, we don't want to spend 30 to 45 minutes doing agility and then that same amount of time doing plyos, and then that's going to be a 2 to 3 hour workout. That's not completely necessary to me. That's just, to me, whenever it gets past a certain point and you're over fatigued and you're still just breaking down the muscle tissue, you're not really gaining anything. All you're doing in that case is just, you're going to have to be recovering longer. So to me, once you get to your fatigue level and you start to dip down, that's when you should be approaching the end of your workouts. Because when you just keep diving, keep driving, I don't think it's not as quality, right? You're not going to get much out of that unless you're like doing bodybuilding or something like that, which that's what most of us aren't working on. We're all about the performance on the court. So keeping the workouts an hour, hour and a half. Maybe you could do like 15 minutes of agility, 20 to 30 minutes of plyos, and then 30 minutes of the strength session. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be like that exact or anything. You can kind of just develop that stuff as you go. And also it's going to depend on, like I said earlier, what your goals are, what you need to improve the most, because all these things are going to change in that case. So it's really important to dial in your goals as well. And for your upper body days, I like to just do like one exercise per muscle group. Superset the muscle groups to keep it quick. Like to maximize your time. We don't like to waste time or anything. The upper body is good, and then I like to do some mobility stuff on the upper body days just to kind of help the recovery process of the lower body, because that's like the main thing what we're working here. We're working the legs, we're trying to develop those fast twitch muscle fibers, and we want everything to be as effective as we can. So doing some mobility stuff, light mobility training on those days, maybe some walking just to get the blood flow a little bit. All that stuff helps the recovery process. Just some light mobility work on the upper body days is what I like to recommend as well. So whenever you have a game, like say you have a game, I'm not going to recommend doing much training on your game days. We don't want to fatigue ourselves or anything. I have heard of people having some success, like if you have 2 games a week and you're trying not to overtrain or anything, you just got to be super aware of everything and super careful. Like if you have 2 games a week, there's not much plyometrics you need to be doing, okay? Because that is a lot of wear and tear on your joints in the lower body. So you probably don't need to be doing any plyometric training. You can maybe do some low-level agility training if you'd like, just of course spaced out enough to where the body is recovering enough. And as far as strength go, you can probably lower the days a week of your strength days. I would say probably stay away from the day before of strength training. Make sure to get that day of rest. You can do some mobility work and maybe some light stuff just to get the movement going in and everything. So in that case, we're not necessarily gaining anything or maintaining, honestly, but it's more about recovery at that point. So you can do it that way if you want, or just go through a mobility day of some sort to prepare for the game. I think that's most of everything. How I like to structure the days of the week on increasing your athleticism. So just remember all these things. We want to get like 2 to 3 times a week, and always be listening to your body. So if I say, hey, we need to get 3 days a week, and your body is just like screaming at you, you're like so sore, you can't hardly move, and you're having pains all over the place, and you're like, no, Coach Seth said I need to work out 3 days a week. In that case, adjust it on your own. Always listen to your body and be open to change. Be open to another rest day if you feel your body needs it. So I know there's a lot of things that play into this. There's a lot of detail that goes into this. So it gets a little complex after a while, but just be patient with it. Like everything, it's all a process. Kind of work around it, work with it, and just develop what works best for you, honestly. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or anything. As always, make sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified for each one of my videos. And I'll see you guys next time.